where a killer's consciousness, well, it simply refuses to die.
It all begins in the pouring rain of Chicago. The Lakeshore Strangler, Charles Lee Ray, is bleeding out. His human body is failing him, but he absolutely refuses to die. Desperate, he seeks an escape from death itself, right among the cheerful plastic faces of the latest childhood phenomenon, good guy dolls. The mechanics of what happens next are entirely unnatural. Charles places his bloody hand onto one of these unblinking dolls and chants an ancient voodoo spell to the god Damballa. Lightning strikes, the roof literally tears open. When the smoke finally clears, police find a lifeless human corpse. But his soul, it's already waiting inside a brand new physical vessel. Just days later, innocent young Andy Barkley brings one of these discounted dolls home. It cheerfully introduces itself as Chucky. But as we know, that pre-recorded act drops rapidly. A highly calculating killing spree begins. From striking an aunt with a toy hammer to blowing up his former partner's hideout, this plastic shell becomes an instrument of absolute slaughter. But why target Andy? Well, because Chucky's true goal isn't to just remain a toy. He needs human flesh. And there are strict, sinister voodoo rules at play here. He can only possess the very first human to whom he revealed his true identity. Chucky is fundamentally forced to manipulate this young boy. He really has no other choice. And right here is where a terrifying caveat reveals itself. Chucky demands to know from his former voodoo mentor why his plastic body is actually starting to feel pain, why it bleeds. The mentor explains the trap. You see, the longer the soul stays inside the doll, the more human that toy becomes. His immortality has a very strict expiration date. Desperate to escape this, Chucky corners Andy. A truly horrific struggle ensues in the apartment. The doll is thrown into a blazing fireplace, shot to pieces, decapitated. Yet, driven by pure, unadulterated malice, his charred, severed torso just continues to crawl forward across the carpet until a final bullet to the heart silences him. But evil thrives on corporate machinery. 2 years later, just to avoid a massive PR disaster, the Play Pals Toy Corporation cleans up the evidence. They actually rebuild the original burned doll, and in doing so, a freak electrical surge courses through the assembly line, shocking the wicked spirit of Charles Lee Ray right back to life. Chucky tracks Andy to the massive, incredibly dark Play Pals factory. Inside this grinding maze, he traps the boy and begins the chant. But as the spell peaks, Chucky sneezes. He coughs up human blood. With agonizing clarity, he realizes he spent way too much time trapped inside the plastic. He's fully human inside the plastic. He can no longer transfer his soul. Realizing this, he flies into a psychotic rage. A horrific cat-and-mouse game through the automated lines ensues. Chucky's legs are completely severed in the heavy machinery, but he keeps crawling. Andy pours boiling, molten plastic directly over him, and he just keeps screaming. Finally, an air hose is jammed into his mouth, inflating his head until it violently explodes. 8 long years pass. The factory is eventually reopened. The old cranes scoop up the melted plastic remains, and a single drop of Chucky's corrupted blood drips into a vat of fresh, boiling rubber. He is reborn. He mails himself to Andy's military academy, but the package is intercepted by a naive young boy named Ronald Tyler. This presents a dark, new loophole. Tyler is the first person he reveals himself to in this brand new body. The trap is reset. Chucky realizes he can use Tyler's fresh, uncorrupted flesh to finally become human again. Now, Andy defeats him again, shredding his plastic body into thousands of pieces in a massive industrial fan. But years later, those exact fragments are found by Tiffany Valentine, Charles's former lover. Using thick staples, crude black thread, and literally a Voodoo for Dummies book, she resurrects him. But their reunion is short-lived. Chucky murders her, violently forcing her soul into a beautiful blonde bride doll. Bound by plastic, these 2 killer dolls manipulate 2 terrified teenagers into driving them across the country to retrieve a voodoo amulet. It becomes an absolute blood-soaked road trip. An invasive officer is vaporized by a car bomb. Motel thieves are violently pushed through a glass mirror. They rapidly and almost seamlessly stack bodies from the shadows. Years later, the legacy mutates once again. The offspring of Chucky and Tiffany, a gentle, confused doll named Glenn, accidentally resurrects his parents in a Hollywood special effects studio. They wake up disguised as animatronic props on a movie set, breathing heavy, back in the plastic flesh, and completely surrounded by totally vulnerable targets.
They manage to lock actress Jennifer Tilly inside her own luxurious mansion, and the absolute madness that follows is a slaughterhouse. A hidden paparazzi photographer is decapitated. A famous rapper is disemboweled in a lethal trap. Tilly herself is forced into a horrific, accelerated voodoo pregnancy just to provide human vessels for their newborn twins. They slaughter absolutely anyone standing in their way.
The years drag on. The story shifts entirely away from the bright Hollywood lights, settling on a suffocating, fog-covered Gothic mansion. A wheelchair-bound young woman named Nika Pierce receives a mysterious, unmarked package. Inside is a pristine good guy doll, and that very night, her mother is found dead. As a violent thunderstorm totally cuts the power, Chucky operates entirely from the dark shadows. He clinically decimates Nika's visiting family using perfectly ordinary household objects. He poisons a pot of dinner chili. He pushes a metal bucket into a live electrical socket. He shoves a long sewing needle directly into an eye. Domesticity turned incredibly deadly. And during the ensuing battle, a truly horrifying truth is revealed. Years ago, the human Charles Lee Ray was obsessed with Nika's mother. Purely out of jealousy, he stabbed her pregnant belly. That original sin is the exact reason Nika was born paralyzed. Her lifelong trauma was orchestrated before she even took her first breath. The police finally arrive, but of course, they don't see a living doll. They see Nika holding a bloody knife surrounded by corpses. She is dragged away to the Harrogate Psychiatric Hospital. For 4 long years, she is heavily medicated, framed, and forced to believe the monster was nothing but a hallucination of her own fractured mind. And then, the arrogant head of the facility brings a good guy doll right into her therapy session. Soon, 2 more arrive. These doctors unwittingly grant Chucky the most terrifying power imaginable: the soul split. It's an advanced voodoo spell allowing his soul to divide. He is now roaming those sterile, snow-covered corridors in 3 bodies at once. A massive, highly coordinated clinical execution begins across the hospital. Wrists are sliced in beds to mimic suicide. A nurse is strapped to a gurney beneath a massive glass ceiling, and a heavy oxygen tank is thrown into it, shattering the glass and decapitating her instantly. All of this happening while Nika lies locked away, completely paralyzed by heavy sedatives. As she lies entirely helpless on the cold floor, unable to move a single muscle, the primary scarred doll crawls into her room. He whispers the final Dembala chant right into her ear. The lights flicker. Nika's eyes snap open, glowing with an intense, wicked malice. He has successfully taken complete control of her human body. Standing on 2 feet that had been paralyzed since birth, the possessed Nika walks across the room. She grabs a heavy iron sculpture. She crushes Dr. Foley's skull without a shred of mercy. She simply walks out into the raging blizzard with Tiffany, leaving a final, brutal trail of slaughter out in the snow. We're left with a reality that completely bends beneath the weight of this supernatural plague, an infection of plastic and blood. If the soul of a killer can divide, if it can exist in an army of vessels simultaneously, how do you ever truly kill it?